and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a comedy movie review. I'm going to be reviewing Here Comes the Boom today. Now, I'll start off by saying this movie has got fairly panned by critics. And I'm going to go on record and say I actually quite like this film. But I will say this, it hasn't got an original bone in its body, so I guess I can see the criticisms that obviously that the film had, but I'm a sucker for a good underdog feel-good movie. So the premise is Kevin James's character is a teacher at a school, and they're having some sort of budget cuts, and the music teacher of the school is going to be sort of sacked off and the music program sort of abolished. Now, interestingly, he doesn't really have much in common with, doesn't really have much to do with the music teacher, who is played by Henry Winkler. But basically, he gets the idea of they need like $50,000 or whatever it is to sort of save the music program, and he gets the idea through teaching a night class and sort of one of his students there by fighting on sort of UFC fights, because apparently you get like £10,000 just for sort of even participating in a match. So he sees it as a quick way to get some money. Now that is obviously a fairly sort of ludicrous plot, so to speak. But he has had wrestling backgrounds, which are kind of maybe the reviews that I've seen for it kind of do skip over that fact. They make a point of actually saying he has actually got a wrestling background, so he's not coming into it as a complete novice. Although obviously we're talking, back when he was at college, and he's a 45-year-old man, however old he is now, meant to be in this film. So he starts training with this guy who's like a kind of an ex-UFC, sort of, I think it's from Holland or somewhere. And he has a few matches, and he wins some, he loses some. I will say the fight scenes I actually really liked. I did enjoy the fight scenes. I thought they were well photographed, and they sort of come across some good impact. There's a bit of slow-mo in it, but I haven't got a problem with it when it's used sort of correctly. So I did quite enjoy the fight scenes. And it's, it has some sort of comedy moments in it. And, nothing you're going to kind of roll about on the floor laughing hard, but there's a few sort of chuckles you'll have out of it. But as I say, getting back to the main criticism, there is literally no surprises here. If you've ever seen a sports movie where there's kind of an underdog and, you know what's going to happen, so much so that there's a few subplots involving his brother and a sort of an Asian student, and everyone kind of gets their sort of like triumphant moment in it. So there's maybe it goes a bit too far in being a little bit too optimistic and kind of proactive. But like I said, I think with these films you have to sort of, I certainly don't mind it so much sometimes. It's nice to have kind of like an upbeat film sometimes, even though maybe it does go a little bit too far and possibly a little bit too sappy in places. Now, Kevin James, as you know, is a more rotund gentleman like myself, but he lost a bit of weight and he's gained a bit of muscle for this film. So he's certainly not, the body of your traditional UFC fighter, but he has put on, a fair bit of muscle. So he doesn't look too bad in it. And as I say, I think I don't know. I'm assuming they obviously use stunt guys and stuff for a lot of the fighting, but it looks pretty good to me. I did enjoy the fights, and that's a movie I kind of enjoyed it as a whole. You've got Salma Hayek in there as a love interest, and she's is a bit of a thankless role really, because she doesn't really do anything apart from sort of cheer on in the sidelines really. So her, it's a bit of a pointless role for a fairly well-known actress, I think. But there you go. But overall, I quite enjoyed this film. I haven't got really any guides. I think if you go into this film knowing what you're going to see and expecting this kind of like this sort of kind of Rocky, but a bit more of a cheesy Rocky. It's a cheesy Rocky is what this film is. Then you'll you'll come out of it with exactly the sort of like what you want to get out of it. So I'd give this film a 6.5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What do you think of it? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.